and art and web 3 and beyond. Before we get started, just like to say a few things. I started my career in media and technology, and once I became a breast cancer survivor, I decided to take that expertise and create a physical brand as a bra line, and then also tap into the immersive world and now create a physical brand. What I uncovered in many areas was to ensure functional form and fit was imperative to 3D design and development, and explore how AI can enhance movement in the digital world, and not just for product development, but with photo shoots, fashion imagery, and also use it in media. As a fashion designer, I've kind of crossed both worlds now, and it's been exciting to see the collaboration and also just educate myself on both sides of the fence. Today we're going to explore the digital customization and how it plays an important role by reducing waste in the fashion industry with virtual try-on technology, changing the entire shopping experience from both consumers, retailers, wholesalers, and really making it a compelling interactive experience, dramatically reducing waste. Our immersive discussion will explore the intersection of fashion, tech, and the art in the metaverse, extended with the reality of gaming and digital platforms. So before I introduce our panelists, we created a little video for you to educate you a little bit about our brands, and we're going to show you that to begin. If we get to the presentation. So joining me today is Tracy, Greenan, founder and CEO of A.U.R.A, three-time founder at the intersection of fashion and gaming, known for her urban gaming skins label A.U.R.A, and co-founding a game-changing style of fashion and gaming consultancy. Next we have Astrid, Pilla, founder of Meta Fashion House, an AI Web3 creative and brand strategy house for fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. She's also founder of Kit Fusion Designs and co-founder of 3D Meta Dress, a sustainable 3D printed couture brand honoring women in Web3 and STEM. Next we have Meena, known as Meena Das, a software engineer at Microsoft, working on accessible web experiences. She's the founder of Working with Disabilities Support Group and board member at the nonprofit Teach Access. Her work, shaped by her speech disability, has earned her multiple accolades in tech and disability advocacy. I may be assisting Meena with her presentation today. And we also have Charlene Nichols, Chief Imagineer at Omniverse City, tech founder and innovator in fashion, medical, and retail, where they create, connect, and innovate AI platform experiences. Welcome, ladies. So the first question I'm going to leave with Tracy. What are the unique opportunities and design considerations involved in creating immersive fashion experiences in the metaverse and Web3 environments?
Let me start with, thank you very much for having me here. It's an honor to be here at Fusion Fashion Summit and to be engaging and speaking with such innovative visionaries. So thank you again. I'd just like to ask the audience, are there any gamers in the audience? for fashion and gaming. And compare that to traditional fashion. I started in the industry about 30 years ago, and I really wish that kind of technology was available for me back then, because it's so much easier to do a digital fashion brand compared to a traditional brand. It opens an additional revenue stream for brands, and it also increases the reach for a whole new audience that would otherwise never engage with your brand. So having a brand in a game, in an experience, really opens the door to let the users interact with your brand and get to know your brand. There's a lot of things that we can go over, but just off the top of my head, there's no physical inventory. It's a digital download, basically, is what people are buying from you. There's no returns. There's no physical anything that you discard. Of course, there's still energy being used. But it's lighter on the planet, and it's the lesser evil. The one thing I love about it is that there's no returns. And you can play around with styles and change things that's very easy to do. For example, if there's a jacket that you have on a platform and you want to make a twin of that, you can make that twin by just clicking the button and choosing the style and then uploading it. Whereas in traditional fashion sense, you have to source that fabric, send it to your sample maker, play around with the style, get it graded, and send it off to your sales rep, and having to do with shipping and all that. So there's loads of opportunities that people that are interested in getting into this space really need to know about, that's beneficial for companies, traditional and digital as well.
Great, it's so valuable to learn all of that. I know I'm not a gamer, my son has been, and it's a new world. The next question is for Charlene. Charlene, you've been involved in quite a few customer experiences at Omniverse City. Maybe you can share how you've used promotional wear technology that provides an aesthetic appeal for your client base, and how that technology has really compromised, or if it has compromised comfort.
Thank you, Jean. Thanks again, everyone, for letting me be here all day. It's been a great day. I've learned so much already. And thank you, everyone, for contributing to this panel. There's a lot of innovators in this space, and we speak for all of them. This is definitely an era where there's almost like a generational shift happening, and there's a lot more in common with us than we might think. I was not a gamer, although I do have a family of gamers, when I started building Omniverse City. We are built on Unreal Engine, and having to understand the user experience was very important. My traditional roots are from the optical and optometric industry, which allowed me to take in the experience in luxury retail and incorporate that into the space. One of the best examples I can think of, there's two. It's very common in luxury, for some optical specifically, for someone to go into a shop and look for basic things because they're afraid to try something more outrageous. And it's the job of the retailer to get that client, typically a woman, to put that really bold, outrageous, beautiful design on their face, because the moment they see that product transform their face, you see their face light up, they're smiling. They didn't think that would look good on them, but then they see themselves almost as an avatar, right? Because you've got this product that you've had on your face that you've never worn before, and now you look like somebody different just with the simple frame. So that person is going to leave that store with that product because of the way it made them feel. And a lot of people are just afraid to have those experiences in physical settings. So there is this kind of digital opportunity, and I know a lot of you have probably heard that word, but it has a really important meaning because it doesn't mean physical or digital. It means both. And for somebody to be able to go into a virtual digital space, have and experience that they can now do in real life. You're seeing this really transform when people express themselves. They feel better about themselves. Their confidence and self-esteem goes up. And it's a time in history where we all need those things. We all need to feel better about ourselves and, imagine ourselves as these younger, more vibrant selves. I would not change a single thing if I had to go back and decide whether or not I would enter into virtual spaces. I did take time leading the Web3 gaming community, Metaverse community, before I continued building what I began, because it started as a virtual trade show. It transformed into a virtual commerce experience, and I wanted to meet the people from the industry that we were building for. And it was that moment, that ability that I had to really listen to their feedback and have them tell me what they want from these virtual spaces that changed everything. So I think this is the era of listening.
Thank you so much. The next question is for Meena. How can the integration of extended reality technologies such as VR and AR enhance consumer engagement and storytelling in digital fashion with accessibility? Should be on your meeting to hold it close.
Oh, great. Okay. Hi, everyone. So, just like wanted to talk about the concept of inclusive design. So, inclusive design is a concept of trying to design for people with disabilities, but extending that to everybody. I think we have this stigma that disabled people, they don't like fashion, but that is just so not true. Remember one of my friends who's blind, she first came across this app which sort of guides her to do her makeup, and that was such a game changer for her, because she was now able to do makeup by herself instead of trying to depend on her friend. So I feel fashion incentivized by technology has the power to change the lives of so many people, including people with disabilities. You all just saw the video about the HAPTA. That was one of the first creations for people who have motor skills problems to apply makeup. So all these innovations in fashion history, they are really going to help everybody lead a more inclusive life. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Meena. Astrid, would you like to comment and maybe talk about Chip?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. I'm Astrid from Meta Fashion House. However, I have a friend. This is just an inclusive design, basically. So I'm just going to demonstrate. I have these beautiful nails. However, one of them is very special. It has an NFC chip. And so when I'm at events like this, I don't have to pull out my business cards. I don't have to do any of that. I can just tap my nail against your phone, and there are my contact information. So it was just one of those things that gives people that, you don't have to fumble around. It's very simple technology, accessible. And if you're thinking about accessibility with design, it's really important to bring that in as a function of what your brand is going to bring to others. And if you are thinking about presenting something and people can't, maybe they can't attend an event like this, well, you can do it in the Metaverse, like on Omniverse, or you could do it in what Tracy's building, which is a gamification or a game, and bring it to people that way. So that's super important. And when you're talking about design, which was the first question, I actually am a creative director as well, so production, creative, but also brand strategist. So when we're thinking about brands like fashion or beauty brands that want to create an experience and they have a vision, and then the builders have, they know the constraints, they know what you can and can't do, let's say, in certain environments, augmented reality, Snapchat filters, things like that. If you want to bring those things kind of together, you need somebody who kind of can communicate between the two parties, such as myself, to kind of bring that vision, as a congruous kind of vision that works. And that's going to be fun for your customers, and that works for the brand, and is something that makes sense, and is gives you an ROI, return on investment. So
That was great. Would you like to comment about the t-shirts with the 3D design?
Sure. So I also am founder of Kid Fusion Designs, and that is really near and dear to my heart. I used to be a coach for STEAM, science, tech, engineering, math, robotics, and I used to be a coach for high school and middle school kids. So for me, I've spent so much time around kids that, maybe they just need that little nudge or something that's going to push them to discover a new, don't be discouraged when you're learning a new skill. So the t-shirts are basically giving an augmented reality experience that gives kids a superpower boost. So it's going to give kids a superpower, something that is going to help them feel empowered, powerful, help them make friends, maybe first day of school, have a fun experience, and the wellness, mental health aspect of all of this technology that we can incorporate into it is really important as well.
And they do that by receiving a t-shirt that has this built in it?
So basically, the t-shirt itself is created with AI, and with the power of Snapchat, we create a filter when you basically point your phone at the QR code, which is on the label. The t-shirt will come to life and give you superpowers. So basically, it could be wings, it could be a really cool fire mask, it could be, all kinds of things. And we're still developing it, but our first one is with a purple dragon, it's very cute. And so I'm very excited. The dragon's gonna fly around and land on your shoulder. And so we'll have a whole line of little dragons. So that's gonna be the first one.
Great, thanks so much. Tracy, next question. What are the implications of blockchain-enabled digital fashion and NFTs on business models and consumer behavior? Informed by your product development experiences and helping fashion brands leverage the Metaverse and Web3 innovative experiences.
4 years ago, I decided to do a collaboration, and I had a physical jewelry line, and I decided to go collaborate with another platform, and we did some earrings in A.U.R.A, which you could wear in video calls, and that also came with an NFT. And I moved on from NFTs just because when I had some things and issues personally, when it came to minting, that means creating your NFT, you would have to, this was 4 years ago, maybe things could have changed by now, but you'd always have to follow the price of gases. a gas price. So you have to wait usually until late in the night or into the late hours of the weekends. And I don't feel like as a person, I don't like to work on weekends or work late at night having to like monitor a gas price. It was a bit cumbersome for me, and then uploading all the media and all the files to get that listing seemed quite, just it wasn't very user friendly, and several times, it could glitch out on the website, and then you would also be dependent on that platform to promote you as a brand. I know we had the first pair of earrings came out on Snap. We had 200,000 views and 1,000 shares on its first week, so that was really good. But I look back at it now, and I think NFTs are good if you are making something that is highly collectible. This could be if you are a high-profile artist, if you're doing sports memorabilia, or if you are a luxury brand, then that is going to work. But I think if you don't have anything with a very special quality in it that people don't want to collect, then maybe looking at other methods, other platforms, is a better choice for you.
And that's totally valid for, different. One thing I want to point out is that there's one piece of this puzzle that is community building and supporting, let's say, underserved communities. And I'll just tell a story. I had a beauty brand named Validated Beauty, which is a luxury indie brand, beauty brand that makes beautiful, in the form of a female body with wings, lipstick, refillable cases that were absolutely gorgeous. And she wanted to support Latinx beauty entrepreneurs. And so we basically came up with, she wanted to create a grant to help every year a new Latinx beauty entrepreneur with, take somebody and help them promote their business and give them insights and experience and mentorship. And so what we did was we had the artwork, which was digital artists who were also Latinx artists, so that it was helping those artists and supporting them. Then each piece that was collected gave a portion of the proceeds to this beauty grant entrepreneurship. So if you craft a story, I think it's and build a community around what you're doing, and people, if you build that narrative first, I think it makes sense. And then, you're basically taking a portion of your proceeds every time you sell it, maybe, and it's just all automatic that it's going to be funding this program. So it's just something, another point of view.
Thanks, Astrid. Charlene, the next question. What are the key technical, legal, and ethical considerations that fashion brands and designers need to address when developing immersive experiences?
Thank you, Jean. So I pulled out an example just to give everyone who hasn't been following the space a baseline of things that are happening in real life. There was a company that designed I think they were called Birkin bags, and they were a copy of the A.U.R.A product. And so there was this difficult legal battle because there wasn't really a precedent for this. There wasn't really a law around whether or not you could make a copy of somebody's product in the metaverse. And here we had another company making millions of dollars because essentially they were kind of a little deceptive because people didn't know that that wasn't authentically from the A.U.R.A company. So thankfully A.U.R.A was smart enough to hire a law firm that had a history of fighting unprecedented cases in a space like this and winning. But there are a lot of companies that are going to be, especially now with AI, making it so easy to create digital twins of everything. This is the first time I know of in history, other than maybe like when Napster came out, where technology is ahead of the law. And if you are doing something because it's, a fast, easy pathway to revenue, you really do need to do your due diligence to make sure that you've got security, privacy, making sure there isn't an existing patent. Sometimes people file patents and they don't necessarily use them. So just because you don't see someone doing something that you'd like to do doesn't mean that they haven't filed a patent for it. So you really do need to do your research and make sure you don't, and sometimes you won't maybe necessarily get sued, but you could put a lot of time and money into something, get a cease and desist, and now you've lost, your trust with your audience and a lot of money. So when I was building Omniverse City, I had to do a lot of research, and I just basically used architecture that was already in existence and just hadn't been used in the ways that I was using it. And I broke a lot of rules that hadn't been broken yet, but I broke them in the right ways. One example is I used Unreal Engine 5 at a time when everyone was using Unity. And even now, people are really afraid to use Unreal Engine 5 because it's very hard to find good developers, it's becoming more and more expensive, and I've just been really fortunate that I've had a great team that is always upskilling, always staying ahead of their game, always doing their own research so we can make sure that we're using architecture that's scalable. Another important thing to consider, you can build something that works great, and then the technology you're using kind of just sunsets, and now you don't have an alternative. So making sure you not only do your research, but surround yourself by people who are always kind of covering their own backs is a really fast and easy way to find that scalable pathway in the future.
Thanks, Charlene. Meena, would you like to comment on this?
Sure. I wanted to share that when you do design fashion for people with disabilities, you have to make sure to do it the right way. Example, a blind person, they are trying to use the web. They use a software called the screen reader, which basically reads the information on the screen to them. But if the application you have made that is not accessible to the screen reader, will not work for them. So we have the web content accessibility guidelines by VCAG, which will show you just how do you exactly design for people with disabilities. So we need to make sure to follow them. And then don't just follow them for the fear of getting sued. Do that because it's the right thing to do. Everybody deserves access to inclusive fashion. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. In closing, I'd like each of the panelists to give maybe a 30-second response. We can leave a few minutes for Q&A. Tracy, would you like to provide maybe some insights to close about maybe some product strategy or industry insights that you'd like to share?
Well, I'll just talk about a few things in gaming, and I think there's 4 really important takeaways to learn. One is to know which platform you're going to go on. There's more to gaming than just Roblox, Fortnite, and Zepeto. There are many other games that you can go on. Secondly, know how are you going to get onto those platforms. So if you're going to go to a gaming agency, find out if there are official partners to one particular game, because if they are, then obviously they're going to encourage you to go onto that game. to become an official partner, there are certain things that you have to bring in, maybe revenue-wise, to earn that title as an official partner. So they could be giving you answers that could be a little bit biased towards their position for their business. And thirdly, know the stats behind the platforms and in the industry. For example, Roblox has last year 1.6 billion wearables were sold alone in just 1 year. There are up to 80 million daily active users on there right now, and at any time, including right now, there's about 15 million people shopping on their marketplace. So with that data in mind, how are you as a designer, as a brand, as a company, how do you stand out amongst all that noise on the platform? Very important thing to consider. And lastly, the most important takeaway is authenticity. You are entering the sacred social headquarters of gamers, where they spend hours a week, if not in a day, gaming on these platforms, on these games. And because they're in there so often, they will know, they will spot when something is not a right fit. And more likely they will respond to a brand that does not look like they belong in there by simply not engaging with them or activate or doing anything with that brand in particular. And they can also respond by not buying that brand in real life out of spite, because this is a very passionate game, it's a very passionate space for so many millions of players. And so you want to really make sure that you are in the right fit to go in a particular game. So go to learn, do your homework, and if anybody here wants to have get more information about it, I'm happy to talk to you after.
Thanks so much, Tracy. Astrid, if you could provide any comments.
Yeah, sure. I love doing these talks because, when you think about all this new technology, it's kind of scary in a way to step into something new, but don't be afraid, just go try it. Try all the AI, apps that you can think of just to get a taste for it, because once you start, into your career, I don't know if there's students out here or mostly, are there students that are?
There are.
Mostly, yeah, I was gonna say, don't be afraid to reach out, any of us, to ask questions. Don't be afraid to try new technology, even if it's not in your avenue or, nothing that, you shouldn't be scared basically to fall in. I'm actually someone who has always loved new tech, but, I'm basically, I could say, count on, one hand all the times that I've, kind of felt a little bit apprehensive about, trying something new, and that's always really hard. But getting back to what we're talking about, the sustainability piece is important, and we always want to think about when a new brand, let's say, comes to us, what I'm thinking about is, okay, what is their goal? Do they want to create, let's say, a 1, 3, 5-year marketing plan? Do they want to, and I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, who are the collaborators going to be? Who are the designers going to be? And we want to bring everybody together to collaborate on a project together to really uplift everyone, and at the same time get all those SDGs, accounted for. So.
Great. I think we might be a little over, so I apologize. We're not going to be able to do the Q&A and complete our summary, but I'd like to thank all of our panelists today. Did an amazing job. I think this discussion is just one, obviously, to continue, and we'll all be available afterwards if anybody has any questions. Our next session is going to be with Sally Key.